Welcome, everyone, to When Should You Feel Your Feelings and Organic Intelligence. I'm Dr. Bok Ho, and let's get straight to the slides. One slide for this lecture. The title is Feel Your Feelings When, and 3 items. Number 1, when they're pleasurable. Number 2, when they're interesting. And number 3, when it's the only way to feel better. Beginning with number 1, feel your feelings when they're pleasurable. Whenever you're feeling pleasure, feel it. Feel both physical pleasure and emotional pleasure without fussing over the distinction. You feel physical pleasure from, say, food, sex, masturbation, physical motion that's pleasurable. Say you get pleasure from walking, running, dancing, etc. You feel emotional pleasure, pleasure in feeling happy, being in a good mood. You feel physical and emotional pleasure at the same time. For example, pleasure in feeling happy while pleasure from walking, feeling pleasure from walking. And pleasure from walking and the pleasure in feeling happy reinforce each other, enhancing the pleasure from walking, enhancing the pleasure from happiness. And your overall state is feeling pleasure without a sharp distinction between this is the physical part and this is the emotional part. And emotional pleasure involves physical pleasure, pleasurable sensation. Your pleasure in feeling happy, in a good mood, includes as components pleasures, say, in your torso and limbs and face, whole body. Pleasure includes low intensity pleasure, feeling neutral, comfortable, well. The better you get at noticing pleasure, the better you get at noticing low intensity pleasure and enjoying neutral. If you don't have feelings, compromised access to feeling, the practice of orientation enables the emergence of feeling in pleasure, and that's not too intense. Finding significance in the environment. Significance fuels interest, curiosity, exploratory impulse. Pleasant sensations emerge, are not too intense, and pleasure capacity grows from there. As opposed to the only way I can feel something is by jumping into the mouth of an alligator. And if I survive, back to feeling nothing. Or as opposed to people in my life are intensely trying to get me to feel, and then feeling breaks out, is too intense, and then feeling shuts down again. So if feeling is shut down or threatens to be too intense, or both, swings between the two, orientation, 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 always orientation. All right, so that's number 1, feel your feelings when pleasurable. Turning to number 2, feel your feelings when interesting. The context here is unpleasant feelings that are interesting. If it's pleasure, feel the pleasure. By unpleasant feelings being interesting, I mean that there's some pleasurable attention towards them, as opposed to the unpleasant feeling being purely unpleasant, and as opposed to the attention being addicted to what's unpleasant. Addiction lessens with the practice of orientation and pleasure, and more often, your attention will be able to be pleasurably interested in what's unpleasant, as opposed to addicted to what's unpleasant. Say you normally feel a lot of shame and it's purely unpleasant. You feel this emptiness inside that's purely unpleasant. Then one day it feels different. The emptiness is not purely unpleasant. You find it kind of interesting. You can hang with the empty feeling and your shame with more interest. That will start moving the feelings towards neutral. Say you normally feel a sinking feeling. Your body is sinking down, you feel, and it's purely unpleasant. Then one day it feels different. The sinking is not purely unpleasant, and you find it kind of interesting. You can hang with a sinking feeling with more interest. That will start moving the feelings towards neutral. Say you normally feel fear or anger, and it's purely unpleasant. Then one day, the energy of the fear or anger, maybe the pounding of your heart or the feeling of heat, of energy in the limbs, aren't as unpleasant as they normally are, and you find that interesting. You can hang with the energy of the fear and anger with more interest. This will start moving the feelings toward neutral. When unpleasant feeling becomes more interesting as opposed to addictive, feeling that, feeling these feelings with that pleasurable interest moves you closer to pleasure. So that's number 2, feel your feelings when interesting. Number 3, feel your feelings when it's the only way to feel better. The context here is also unpleasant feeling. 2 cases here. The first is when you literally have to feel your feelings. You can't not feel them. They're too intense. The intention just has to feel the pain. Pain controls your attention. You can't prevent it. That's the first case. The second case is when you're preventing pain from rising that needs to rise in order to lessen or go away. Pain needs to rise, and you're preventing it through tightening your muscles, staying in your head, weightlifting. In this case, you have to feel the pain for it to move through, and preferably no more than is absolutely necessary. For details on this, see my video, How to Practice Pain. So, when should you feel your feelings? When they're pleasurable, interesting, or it's the only way to feel better. Thank you.